Being very entitled and controlling, narcissists have no difficulty stepping all over your personal boundaries. So that's why I put together an extensive video class called This Is Me. It has 25 videos, written documents, guided questions. I'm going to teach you how to have healthy boundaries. There's a link below, and I hope you'll find it to be quite therapeutic. One of the most common questions that I'm asked is, how can I really tell if a person truly is a narcissistic individual? And I acknowledge that the word narcissist or narcissism is slung around a little bit too easily these days. When we talk about narcissism, we're using a shortcut way of saying that that's an individual who has very strong control issues. They can be very overbearing to the point that they have to be in the superior position. They don't really care about the needs and feelings of other individuals. Low empathy. They can operate with false pretense leading the way. They can be manipulative, exploitive, etc. And every one of us can have our moments where we can slip up and not be at our very best, and sometimes those characteristics can show up at least in some level. How can you really tell if somebody is truly narcissistic? Well, one of the key things that I watch for that gives me an idea of how to answer that question is watch how someone responds to conflict. One of the key phrases that helps me understand how to learn about other individuals is the phrase, crisis reveals character. It's in those moments where you have your crisis points, and they can be small things like, how are we going to manage things at home in a discipline situation or finances, or how are we going to deal with this difficult person at work or in social settings? How can we manage our relationship when we have clashes of opinions? And then it can be something really large on top of that with major disappointments and moral failures, etc., like that. It's in the moments of crisis, small, medium, or large, that your character is shown. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to talk to you about what we see in narcissists in their moments of crisis. And then I want to take it further, and I want us to ask, as we see their behaviors that are most common in moments of crisis, what does that reveal about their thoughts and expectations regarding you? First, let's notice when narcissists are in a crisis mode with you, first and foremost, what you're going to see from them is they can immediately go into a defensive posture. Basically, they can think, you're not allowed to say anything or feel anything negative about me. I'm not listening to it. In addition, when in their crisis moments, narcissists can pick up on a type of paranoia in their reactions towards you. They might be thinking like, you're trying to make me look foolish, aren't you? Or you're being antagonistic toward me. Or you're just such an adversarial person and you're deliberately making my life miserable. And you can see that they have a certain fear of who you are. And frankly, a lot of times they're doing a lot of projecting into you about some of the issues they don't like on the inside of themselves or they can't come to terms with. In addition, during moments of crisis, it's very predictable that the narcissistic person is going to be the one that goes into blame shifting. I'm not the problem, you are. And they apply binary all or nothing thinking, and they come out on the good end and you come out on the not so good end. In addition, during crisis moments, narcissists it doesn't take much to arouse ugly anger. And when I say ugly anger, there are actually clean ways that you can manage anger. But with narcissists, they can go into rages, or they can become ridiculing. They can become passively aggressive and aggressively non-cooperative. They can hold grudges. They can hold you in contempt. The anger that's on the inside can be managed in such an antagonistic way that no good resolution is going to come. That's for sure. In addition, when narcissists are in crisis mode with you, it's fairly common for them to draw upon revisionist history. They'll start pulling experiences from the past and then putting interpretations. You've always been difficult, or you've always been selfish, and what about the time you did this and said that? And honesty is not accurate, is not necessary, and context is not necessary when they start going into this revisionist history. So in moments of crisis, those are some of the predictable things that they'll do. Now, as they go into that kind of mindset, and here's where it's going to be essential for you to apply some good psychological insights. Their behaviors and their predictable reactions reveal a much deeper pathology from the inside out from them in their thinking toward you. For example, when they act in this very strongly adversarial way toward you, what they're basically presuming is, hey, look, you're supposed to play the role of the loser in this game. And it is a game to them. They're very competitive. There's winners and losers, and they have to be the winner. And so they expect, no, if there's going to be a loser in this equation, it's not me. So in moments of crisis, they want to remind you, you're a loser, you're no good, you just need to defer to my superiority. In addition, it reveals that in their mind, you exist to prop up their ego. Now, they won't say it, but their very insecure ego. But it's like, hey, look, if we're in crisis, I have to be in charge here. And so basically, you just need to recognize that and do your role. In addition, it also reveals you're not allowed to feel frustrated or angry. Now, they are, as I just mentioned, but in their mind, it's like, don't even think you're going to have a voice around here because you don't. You don't matter. And I don't want to hear from you because you're too lowly as far as I'm concerned. Or it also reveals that in their mind, they think your boundaries are not legitimate. Drop your boundaries and let me define you. And you know that if you've heard some other lessons, that I say that boundaries begins with you having a strong definition of yourself. The narcissist in crisis is like, no, I define you. In addition, their responses also reveal that in their mind, complaining about me is not allowed. That's off limits. You cannot say anything that even hints at negativity about me. In addition, they think you cannot be in control. That's my job. And then along with that, they imply I'm the decision maker around here. Keep your thoughts to yourself. And as far as they're concerned, they want you to suppress whoever you are. It's just what you think, what you feel is just legitimate. Just shove it and keep it downstairs. In addition, their response in moments of crisis reveals they want you to fear them. They want you to shake in your boots when you think about coming up against them. Instead, you're not a valid individual, as I mentioned. In addition, their thinking is before you try to resolve any kind of significant differences or preferences from me, you have to filter your thoughts. You have to filter your inclinations through me. I require your unwavering loyalty, and if you're not willing to give me loyalty, I still require your deference. And then it also reveals they want you to stay task focused. They're much more interested in what you do and what your performances reveal as opposed to how you feel. Well, let's not talk about that. And then in addition, it reveals never, ever think or say anything negative about me, whether it's to me or to someone else. You can't do that. Crisis reveals character. They have these certain behaviors that are extremely predictable, and then they have these attitudes that push and expectations that push those behaviors along. And lost in the middle of all of this is truth. There are certain key truths that narcissists cannot come to terms with as they are in a crisis mode with you. One of the first truths that they cannot come to terms with is it is the height of arrogance for one person to presume that that one individual's opinion is the only one that matters. It's like, yeah, it's all about me. It's like, well, what happened to us? Didn't you get the memo? It's all about me. I just told you that. In addition, another truth that's lost on them, and this is an optimistic thought, but I believe it to be possible, and that is a crisis can be a major learning experience. You can actually grow because of crisis points, and I've known plenty of people who would illustrate that, and it's a wonderful thing when growth and insight can result. Another truth that's lost on them, And that is when both sides show a willingness to collaborate with each other, that's when good results are more likely. In other words, each side likes to feel heard. Each side, not just one. Another truth that's lost on them is people who seek influence during times of crisis are most effective when they still can maintain respect. And then also, another truth that's lost on them is anger can actually be managed cleanly. We call it assertiveness, and that means that I can stand up for who I am, you can stand up for who you are, while still maintaining a certain regard for the other individual. Now, the bottom line is when you have a crisis point, let's remember you do have two imperfect people that are going to be there. So it doesn't shock me at all when we can think, well, we're just not managing this in a clean kind of way. In those moments, your challenge is to ask, well, does my response to those moments of crisis reveal immaturity? That's what happens to the narcissist. Or do my responses to the crisis reveal healthiness? Here on Team Healthy, we stand for dignity, respect, and civility. Can I be that kind of person, especially in the moments of crisis? Now, one last thought, and that is when you respond to crisis, it's not like you can pull up techniques to use in those moments. Crisis is a time when character truly is going to be revealed. And I'm hoping that when you're in moments of crisis with other individuals, you'll more than gladly say, let me show you what healthy character looks like. Narcissists can't think that way. Now, I hope that a video such as this can give you some good awareness of what you might be dealing with. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please do so. We're going to keep more videos coming towards you. You'll look in our underneath the video tab in my channel. You'll see all sorts of videos that are archived there. Please make yourself available to all of that. At times like this, when you're thinking about a topic such as this, you might think, I could use somebody to help me unpack this. I could use some therapy. You know that I'm a retired therapist, but I believe dearly in the process, and I've been sponsored, therefore, for years by the people at BetterHelp.com. It's an entire team of licensed professional therapists. There's a few questions for you to ask. You can go through the link that we have below, and it can be so helpful for you when someone says, I want to get to know you, and I want to hear your backstory, and let's see if we can figure out how to bring out the best version of you. As the need is there, please seek that therapy. In addition, in my retirement, one of the things I've done is I've pulled together all my many decades, my 4+ decades of experience, and turned them into courses. And each course has at least 25 videos with teaching documents accompanying them, guided questions. We have the course Anger Games, about how not to get sucked into their anger. This is me establishing your boundaries, free to be, ready, set, connect. We have links below the video here and on my website. In addition, on my website, we have access to my webinars that I've done, my Surviving Narcissism podcast, plenty of articles, lots of resources. Okay, let's go back to that key phrase, crisis reveals character. And I'm hoping that in your mind you can think, well, I want my character to be intact, especially, not just in the good moments, but especially in the difficult moments. And when that happens, you can show yourself to be a person of steadiness. And I hope that it allows you to remain and continue to be a person who's able to find your place of peace.